Hi, I'm Stephen Boyle. We have a fire weather watch and some hazardous weather outlooks, and also a marine weather statement as well. We'll look at all of these things, but I'm not going to focus much on the short term. I'm going to focus a little bit more on the long term and what's going on with that. If you want to know the time, it's about 8:50 right now. Before we get into everything, so like I said, I'm going to focus more on the long term with this particular video, and probably my next several videos I'll be focusing more on long term because that's when things are really interesting here. But I will speak briefly about what's going on short term. Fire weather watch tonight for tomorrow. Potentials of some fires here. Just be very vigilant. If you're gonna be heading out, generally things like that. Don't be foolish. Don't be throwing fiery wood on the ground tomorrow. I don't do it anytime, but especially tomorrow because things like that will just spread and spread and spread, and we could be talking about some major issues. So don't do that. Okay, even if you smoke, don't make sure your cigarette is out before you throw it out the window or throw it on the ground, because yes, could spark a fire. All it takes is ignition, and then everything will go up into flames. Marine weather statement: dense fog tonight off the waters here. It'll be generally into those regions: Martha's Vineyard, Block Island, things like this. Don't worry about it. It'll generally be very, just be careful if you're heading out into the waters tonight. I don't know who would, but there are sailors who live out on the waters, and they also sometimes go out early and stuff. So if you are a sailor and you happen to be listening, be very careful about that. Then you have a hazardous weather outlook. Okay, hazardous weather outlook includes our region. Dense fog potential tonight. Visibilities half a mile or less. Fog will not last long, as of course we have a cold front moving through. You really won't notice. You'll notice a little bit of a difference, but not a major difference. It'll still feel warm tomorrow, but not as warm. Tomorrow we could be talking about the elevated fire risks through all of southern New England, so keep that in mind. And if you work your way to the northern portions of New England, there's also fire weather watches out as well. So just keep that in mind. Be very vigilant. Like I said, don't be foolish. Short term, generally things will be neutral this upcoming week. But things will start getting interesting because we have the potential for frosts this week. Why is that such a big deal? Because some people have been planting. I've been noticing people are starting to plant. Some people are starting to put out some flowers. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there will be some frosts this week, and we may even be getting a little bit more of a long-term frost. Well, not a very long term, but we could be talking about something that could be killing your plants in the near future. So just be careful about that. If you can bring them in, I would probably start in this upcoming week, get into the habit of bringing them in. You may even need to kind of keep them in for a while. So we'll have to see what happens about that. But other than that, this week highs will generally be, to start the week off, we may see upper 40s, even some lower 40s. I wouldn't doubt that. According to some models, they're saying lower 40s will be for highs on Tuesday. And even Wednesday, we could see some 40s around. And then Thursday, it starts warm. And then Friday, Thursday and Friday will be pretty warm. And then as time continues into next Saturday, we get into some concerns. Okay. So this is by the time next Saturday rolls around. We'll start here. See this little area of low pressure down here in Texas? This will be a feature that could be causing us some issues, okay? And I'm watching this thing like a hawk. Now, it's still 216 and 200 and some odd hours away, about 216 hours away. That's a long time away. We're talking over two. We're talking almost a week away. Actually, a little bit over a week. Um, but still, I'm trying to kind of update you and tell you what could be happening long term. This is to hour 228, or by next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday. Important, because here comes that low. Okay, it's moving. This was its track. It started in Texas. Now it's working its way up into portions of Illinois. Now, I want you to notice that here we have a good air. The air is cold. We're not talking about warm air. We're not talking about regions like in the Midwest where they're warm. We're kind of in a trough here. Okay, it kind of goes like that. The air from Canada is kind of ushering in here. Very important key component here. Now, this is hour 228. This is this upcoming Sunday. Or the following Sunday. This is by hour 240. This thing gets itself cranking once it gets into the Ohio River Valley. Here's the freezing line. That's about the freezing line. Actually, if you look down here, I'll kind of show you both at the same time. Here's the 540 line, southern Michigan. Here's the freezing line, central Michigan. So you can see that there's a little bit there's not much of a there's a little bit of a correlation, but the freezing lines are a little bit more to the north, north than the 540 line. But you can see here is where some snow will be falling into portions of central Michigan. Now, as time progresses, okay, this is by hour 240. We're at hour 252. Okay, this is by Monday the 2nd. We're in the 2nd now. Important information or important stuff going on, because here's our low. Here's the precipitation following it. All right, now I'm going to try and get this here where it's kind of aligned. There we go. So here is the 540 line. It's to the north of us. But what's important is that 0 degree mark, or the 32 degree line, is to our south. So you can see that there's not much of a correlation here with this particular storm. The correlation between the 32 degree line and the 540 line with this storm isn't completely aligned, at least according to this particular model. So what does this mean? Well, snow would start to fall in our region. Okay, and this is no joke. I'm showing you this right from the models. This is the low pressure nor'easter. All right, haven't seen much of those this year. Been a while since we've seen one of these. Coming up the coast, it's giving us some intense precipitation. You can see here's where the intense precipitation is. See those dark blues? Yeah, those dark blues indicate about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of precipitation. If you do from rain, that's the liquid content. If that were to be frozen and in snow, it's usually a 10-to-1 ratio. That's about 7.5 inches to 10 inches right there. And that's not including what happened in the image prior when it was here. Now it's moving up, continues moving up, and you can see that here comes some intense stuff. Intense. We're talking the 0 degree mark, practically clearing all of New England. It's well off the coast, maybe regions of the Cape seeing that 0 degree line above them, but practically all of New England within that 0 degree mark. And you can see there's that nice that area of low pressure. This is a classic nor'easter type storm. This would be causing the winds, the snows, and everything. And then that kind of moves in. It's kind of funny how the track goes, and then you can see it kind of moves out by Thursday, and then it's close to us. So what's essentially the track of the storm if it were to go this particular way? It would be moving like this. Then it would be kind of moving up like this, and then kind of in, and kind of out and then up like that. That would be the essential track of the storm. It's funny how there's a feature in here that's funny because it kind of moves in a little bit. And if it moves in like that, then that means the precipitation will be lasting a little longer. There's some questions here, whether it actually happens this way. This is the predicted snowfall for this storm as of right now. You can see tons of snow. We would be practically buried in snow by the time this thing was all said and done. Whether this happens or not, I'm not sure yet. We're gonna kind of have to really iron things out here. Will there be model runs that say, "Oh, this isn't gonna happen," or it'll be to the north, or it'll be to the south, or whatever? There will be variations, but I think overall, in general, this is what I'm thinking. If you live in this region of New England, I can almost guarantee you there is a 100% chance that you will get a snowstorm, or with this particular storm, you will get snow. Unless this thing goes out to sea, which as of right now, that's not being indicated. If you live in this region, I would say you have a good, actually we'll say the 100% chance is up in here. The 75% chance would practically be in this region. So this is 100. This is 75. This is in percent. And then down in here, I would say about a 50% chance. Okay? This is important. Okay? A 50% chance of a storm this far out is kind of funny. Like I said, the last time we've had a chance like this was back in 1997. Take it 30. That's 15 years. That's 15 years ago. Take it 15 years prior. You have another chance of a snowstorm. 30 years ago, we practically saw this amount of snow. This was practically the amount of snow that we saw. Our region practically saw about 2 feet or more of snow. Practically regions to our east saw about 10 to 12. We'll say 10 to 20 inches. This was the classic setup with that particular storm. Whether this holds, I'm not sure. I will continue to keep you posted on this. But things are starting to come together and saying, hey, we're going to get a snowstorm. And how intense, and the timing of it is all still in the cards. Even the snowstorm itself is in the cards, but it's starting to come together. So stay tuned, everyone. I will update you, and sorry sorry for the length. I know it was a little longer, one of my longer videos, but I kind of need to inform people about things, and I know it's kind of hard to believe since we were over 80 degrees today. But just keep that in mind, and we will give you updates as time goes on. So have a great rest of your Thursday, everyone, and I'll be back tomorrow.